Hey friends, welcome back to another episode or video. If you're new here, I'm new here too. We've only done a few videos, and the more we do, I think the more fun we have with it. In this video, I'm going to show you some things that I talked about in the first video that we ever posted. If you haven't seen that, go back and check it out. It's just a grocery haul, but I talked about a bunch of things that we have in store for this channel. So here you're just watching me clean some chicken breast, or, clean them up. I call it cleaning them because I'm just getting all the yuckies out. And I saved my little chicken wrapper right there because I put all the scraps in there, and I either cook them up and I feed them to the dog, or I'll put them in a baggie and use them for chicken broth when I make a big pot of that. And then I'll just strain it out, when I'm finished. So here I'm going to cut what we call a chicken tender, and I was blessed to have been raised on a ranch. So these are skills that I learned as a young child. My mom taught me to fillet these chicken breasts like this, so we would get the most out of every piece of meat. So you're going to start at the top, and you're just going to, with a very sharp knife, carefully run the knife down to split the meat in half. And these are boneless, skinless, that I got these from the store. We clean animals, probably, I say clean, we butcher, however you want to say it, once a year, or, we're just not in that season right now. So this is store-bought chicken, and I did this solely for this video. Like, I bought this chicken just so I can make this video for you guys, because I already have some in the freezer. And so anyway, so you're gonna see me butterfly this. I think this is called butterflying in like the chef world. I'm not a trained chef. I'm a mom and a wife, and I have skills from my parents and my grandmother. So here I am just pointing out the chicken tender again. Now, these chicken breasts, each one was different, and that's why I went ahead and, instead of just leaving, editing out the other two being processed, I wanted to go ahead and leave these on here so you could see the different pieces that, I'm taking out, or the different shapes that the chicken breast might come in, so you can be able to identify the tender itself and know how to cut this how to cut this and be able to just have more meat for your family. So here I am again, I'm butterflying the chicken breast. My husband actually has a technique where he can cut these into thirds or even fourths. So I might have him do a video on that. I'm a little timid sometimes when it comes to kitchen knives, especially mine, because they're very sharp. My husband's an avid hunter, and so he keeps all of our knives very sharp, so that way they're good to go with any kind of thing we're working on, any kind of project or meat or whatever. You just want to make sure that, see how I'm kind of flattening this out right here? You want to make sure that you don't leave any thick pieces like this, because that's going to cause your chicken to cook unevenly. So the whole point of doing this is to make sure that you're going to have juicy chicken when you cook it. So we're trimming off all the yucky pieces, or odd pieces, or however you want to call it. And basically, we're just going through the motions at this point. This is, I think, chicken breast number 3. And I'm going to point out, hopefully, the tenderloin one more time so you guys can see that one. This one was kind of an odd-shaped chicken breast. It was, I don't know, really, how they got it this shape. It was so weird for me. You can see I'm kind of having some trouble right here because it was just a odd piece of meat there. But I went ahead and cut it out just so I could get down to the basic chicken breast, the basic shape. So Yeah, here we go, pointing out the tenderloin one more time, or not tenderloin, chicken tender. It's not a tenderloin. It's a chicken tender. Pointing it out one more time, and then I'm throwing them in this bowl over here because I put them separate because that's a separate meal for us. Chicken tenders that's just a separate meal. But in this video, I'm going to use them to make a recipe. I'm not going to disclose that right now because I want you to try to figure out, that's the theme here, is I want you to try to figure out what kind of chicken I'm making. Now, I will say there is a hint in our first video as to what kind of chicken I'm making. So if you've watched the first video, then you're probably already kind of guessing what kind of chicken that this is going to be. But I hope that this is beneficial and, you know, you guys can... Oh, here I'm pointing out one of my mistakes. I went a little deep with my knife there, poked a hole in it, but that's okay. These are also really good if you wanted to lay them flat. You see how I'm kind of like, I'm showing you the meat, but if you lay it flat like that... Oh, here's our chicken tenders. So that was 3 chicken breasts. I got 3 chicken tenders out of it, obviously. There's my little scraps. That's my dog in the background complaining because I'm not cuddling him right now. But I will save those scraps for another project, for chicken broth or whatever. So I'm just going to dice up these chicken tenders and chicken pieces for the recipe that we're making in this video. Going back to what I was saying about laying the chicken breast flat like that. So if you're into meal prepping, or just, I mean, I think it's really meal prepping, but so if you lay those chicken breasts flat, you can actually layer them with like cheese, or like feta cheese or cream cheese, spinach, Parmesan, basil, anything you want, asparagus even. Roll it up and put it into your freezer bag, and you can cook it later. And those flavors, they just have time to set in there, and it's just delicious. So here we are with our finished chicken pieces there, chicken bites. In this video, I think I washed my hands probably 15 times because I absolutely hate touching raw chicken, and I hate it like when people touch raw meat and then they touch everything else. It drives me crazy. So if you see some little pauses or blips in the video, it's just because we had to take a time out so I could wash my hands one more time. But so I added some pickle juice to our chicken here, and I'm just kind of making sure that it's evenly, you know, distributed all over the chicken. You want to make sure that your chicken is submerged. So I'm smashing it down in there. And I prefer to use a fork for this. You could use anything you want. You can use your hand if you want. I just don't like to. So here we are. We're going to mix up our egg here. And then I don't want to give it away like right now, because I feel like if I keep talking that I'm going to give it away. So you just want to, like, you know, mix that up there. And that line in my bowl is actually like a crack, but I love that bowl and I don't want to throw it away. So this is just some whole milk. You can use cream or whatever you have on hand. I don't think it really makes a difference. I prefer whole milk over any other kind of milk. You won't catch me with 2% or 1% milk. I use a full fat milk because it's just a better product to have on hand for the recipes and nutritional value. So I'm going to mix in my spices, and I might speed this along whenever I start getting into this process, just because we don't want to, you know. So we're going to use Panko breadcrumbs here. So these are plain because I prefer to season my own things, but we also bought some seasoned Panko breadcrumbs, and I read the ingredients, and it was like Parmesan cheese and oregano, and that was it. So they're kind of more of an Italian style. So I just flattened it out on the plate. I'm going to put my seasoning over the top. There's no real like method here, but I would say that this is how I get the seasoning into the meat. I season both the liquid and the dry ingredients, and I'm sure there are fancier terms for these things. Now we're going to take our chicken, put it into the egg and milk mixture. Now remember that chicken is in pickle juice, so you could drain it in a colander, like a strainer, if you chose to, but what I do is I leave it in the pickle juice, because every time that you pick one of those out and you put it in that milk, it's turning that milk into buttermilk the longer you take here. And I've got, I don't know, a pound or so of chicken right there in that bowl to do. So the longer that that sits there, and the more I dip that into that milk back and forth, the richer that this chicken is going to taste. It's going to have like more of a buttermilk flavor. And I don't want to say buttermilk flavor, because I know you guys, some of you cringe at the word buttermilk. I used to cringe at the word buttermilk because I don't like to drink it just out of a cup. But I do love to cook with it. So you'll see me I'm using a toddler, I want to say I got it from IKEA, fork. That purple fork right there is amazing for breading anything. It's almost like a spork, because on the back side it's got like a thicker bottom, and then it's got the little prongs. Anyway, enough about my random little fork. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. Please like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. If you haven't figured it out yet, I would love to know what your guesses are. I'm just going to stick this in my air fryer here. Air fryers, they vary so much. I set mine on 400 for about 8 to 10 minutes. I prefer ours a little darker, so that's why I ran it so long. But, you know, if you like it lighter, you know your machine. Use your best judgment, or use your manual that came with your air fryer. So I'm just going to put these in the air fryer for about 8 to 10 minutes, 375 to 400. We'll cook them thoroughly, and they're going to be absolutely delicious. We serve these with Hawaiian rolls, pickles, and a little bit of mayo. Of course, you can serve them however you'd like. You could whip up some, you know, dipping sauce of a certain variety that I will reveal in just a second. A little bit of YouTube magic here. These things are going to pop right out and be done almost instantly. Here I am setting the timer for 10 minutes. And then, just like that, they're done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's Chick-fil-A! Thanks for watching.